Hello everybody to a brand new Let's Play in Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich. Today, we're going to be playing as Russia, doing the democratic route. It's the only route I think in Russia that we haven't actually done before. We've done the Tsarist, we've done Sandikov, we've done the socialist route, but we have not remained a liberal democracy. So that's what we're going to be doing this campaign. I'm not too sure which ideology we will go for, either, you know, social liberal, conservative, market liberal, social democrat. I'm not too sure again which way we'll go there, but we'll see, you know, wherever the game takes us. So as Russia, we are starting off with 51 factories, 15, 4, and 32. I think that's a pretty decent number to begin with. The supplies are looking, at least right now, okay. I'm gonna let 1 day tick over. Just see if maybe these change. No, okay, so it looks like we're mostly okay. But I will go for 2 more. Actually, no. Here's the thing. We don't make trains and we don't make, we do not make motorized. So yeah, we need to make sure we have those guys going right away. I definitely would have forgotten. But a troubled history. The Federal Revolution put an end to centuries of the Tsarist despotism, but its achievements were on the verge of being undone. In October 1917, the Bolsheviks, led by Vladimir Lenin, stormed the Winter Palace and seized control of Russia, declaring the world's first revolutionary socialist state, Soviet Russia. A wide front of monarchists, republicans, moderate socialists, and foreign interventionists rose up against it. The Bolshevik Revolution was stillborn, and in September of 1918, Lenin was assassinated by Fanny Kaplan. The disgruntled left Tsar, and the Bolshevik cause began to disintegrate. This, combined with the German supplies provided to the White Movement throughout the Civil War, meant that by 1920 the revolution was successfully suppressed. In 1922, the White Generals dictated the constitution of a new Russian Republic, which, albeit democratic, was riddled with issues and did not satisfy everyone. Hoping that he would prove to be a weak figurehead, the Whites pushed forward Alexander Kerensky to be leader of the provisional government before the October coup. As the first president of the Russian Republic, Kerensky would prove to be capable. However, as he survived the 1925 Kolchak Putsch and implemented a new economic policy to restore economic growth, and has governed the country for the past 15 years. A lack of serious political opposition and the widespread electoral manipulation have certainly helped his longevity as well. By 1936, however, President Kerensky has eroded the last of his allies in government, and the NEP is no longer yielding any dividends. Nationalists see him kowtow to Germans, Democrats believe that he is turning into a dictator, and Socialists simply want the entire system gone. All of them share one belief, however, that Russia still has the potential to assert its power in the world. So, 1922, after the Russian Civil War and 5 years after the February Revolution, the Constitution of the Russian Republic is a scar of the fractured White Movement, which saw its adaptation. It defines Russia as a federal democratic republic, guarantees universal freedoms and the rights of every citizen of the republic, and is a document by which the country's political institutions have been organized since then. In some ways, the Constitution is an updated version of the Tsarist Constitution of 1906. The upper house of the Parliament, the Senate, is the main example of the authoritarian heritage. It is an unelected institution comprised of senior statesmen and delegates from the upper strata, such as aristocrats, university presidents, and business associations. The lower house, the State Duma, is elected and holds most of the legislative power in the country. The president of the unelected Senate curbs the democratic process in the country, however. The president is elected by the Senate, but many of his powers and duties are styled after the position of the Tsar in the 1906 Constitution, and therefore he holds significant executive powers. It appoints a council of ministers with the approval of both legislative houses. The president is the primary actor of executing legislative acts and represents the Republic in foreign affairs. He also has access to the infamous Article 48 of the Constitution, which allows the president to take emergency actions with the approval of the Duma. President Alexei Kerensky has grown fond of using his power to bypass the increasingly fractured legislature and thus pass decrees and laws. Drafted under the guidance of the White Generals, the Constitution can only call itself a protection of democracy when its articles are not being used against it. In the NEP, the Russian Civil War left the economy of the Republic in a pitiful position. The conflict had devastated the country and left millions dead. Famine was breaking out in the Volga region, and anarchy reigned across much of the country. The government of Alexei Kerensky had a lot of political capital and used it for a very vast series of economic stimulus programs dubbed the New Economic Policy. The NEP combined financial stabilization with concessions to progressive movements. A new currency was introduced, the Shcherblanite ruble, backed by the gold standard, which put an end to the rampant inflation. The de facto land redistribution in the countryside was recognized and additional land reform proclaimed in order to restore the efficiency of agriculture. A restored revenue of these exports, combined with considerable American and German investment, to restore industrial zones and rebuild the rail system. By the late 1920s, despite losing access to Don-Kuban Chesium, Russia was one of the fastest growing economies on the planet with plenty of potential to spare. The economic miracle began to slow down by 1933, and the Great Depression in America dissipated investment in Russia. Agriculture efficiency stopped growing due to lack of mechanization, and the gold standard was shackling finances rather than stabilizing them. By 1936, the state has entered a full-on recession. Although some hold out hope that the prosperous German market will salvage Russia, the consensus that the NEP has run its course and change of policy needed. Should Russia recover and its economy once again become vibrant, however, its untapped potential will likely turn it into an industrial giant. I'm sure the German economy is completely okay. And we've absolutely nothing to worry about there. But I will get my units together. How many troops do we have in total? Got 83, and there's a couple up here as well. Yeah, so we have 88 divisions right now, which I think is like a reasonable number. Well, how do you want to split them up? Well, let's get you into 5. Let's go 5 armies here. I think this 11 stack. Okay, what's the question? We have a supply depot here. This 11 stack, I want you basically just be on the border with Transimir and essentially nothing else. Yeah, we have a port up here, so you should be good there. Also, let's make sure you're all underneath a field marshal. Sign our generals. You actually should have one of the weaker generals. Put you down here. So we want our good generals to be on the fronts in Europe. Get a general here, get a general here. I think the other 11 stack that we've created will probably send him, yeah, to Orenburg and invade their way into Last Orda when the time comes. Because even though they are a puppet state of ours right now, that is not meant to last. So get these guys deploying here. Again, I want to look at supply depots. I mean, for the most part, I think you should be good. So, Brown Army, you're going to be on the border with Don Kubin. You are going to be on the border with Ukraine. And you can be on the border here. And you know what? Yeah, no. You can just be on the border there. That seems like okay. So they're going to all move into position. Research, we want to go with all of our basics. We go 1, 2, 3. And then we have an extra slot. We will use it for 1918 support weapons. We have a decent amount of factories available for us right now. But I think for the most part, we're looking okay. I wouldn't mind just going for like 2 factories in Moscow. And then we can worry about that. Oh, we actually have more. Let's go 1 factory in Petrograd. To me, that looks good. We will take our Army and Navy experience. Boom, done. Free dockyards. We will use that for convoys for now. Because we only have 28. Which is probably pretty bad. Apparently, we don't have enough rubber. We will get rubber from Siam, because I think they're a little bit less likely to go to war with us. And again, we got our troops in position. The assassination of Kerensky. The sound of gunfire rings across the capital. Alexander Kerensky, the president of the Russian Republic, was shot and killed by an assassin while he was climbing up the steps of the state house. His killer was shot dead by the military police before he could make his escape. His motives will forever be unknown. Regardless, the fate of Russia is irrecoverably changed. So excellent. We're starting off immediately with a political crisis. Also, yeah, do not have night and day mode on. Thank you. Observe rights and legation council. In the aftermath of the assassination of Kerensky. Kerensky may have been hated by many, but it was only when he died that it became clear how much Russia needed him. The coalition between the cadets and the social revolutionaries had begun to dissolve immediately. Kerensky's right-hand man, Viktor Chernov, who had usually handled the nitty-gritty of the coalition building, while the president acted in the public face of the party, has suddenly found his job to be a lot harder. All while the right-wing forces in the Senate and Duma coalesce and gather their forces. Soon-to-be savior is Grand Duke Dmitry, who has all the material to be a fine president in their eyes. Chernov's only hope is the left opposition, the Menshevik and radical socialists, represented by Ilitsky Terestely and Alexander Shilpitnikov. Again, I'm butchering all these names. Will put rivalry side and join forces with the hated SRs and cadets. Anti-democratic forces lie in the shadows too. Peter Regel, the Black Baron, and Field Marshal Lever Kornilov have independently drawn up their plans to seize control of the state for this exact occasion. They have no reason to play ball with the parliamentarians in Moscow now that Kerensky is gone, after all. So we want to go for... We go Dmitry Romanov. Bloodless coup. No, we're going to go for the parliament. So hello. I had to edit this video a little bit because I realized that I went down a path that actually does not lead me to what I wanted, unfortunately. So we're in a different timeline, okay? So what I did before is that I elected Romanov because I thought that he'd be able to kind of have a democratic Russia. But unfortunately, he actually goes to empower the Senate. I didn't realize he's the only guy that did that. We wanted to empower the Duma. which I had screwed up because I want to have a liberal Russia, and I accidentally messed it up a little bit. But appointing an acting president. At the last moments, thanks to Chernov's efforts, the agreement was found between all forces of the left of the cadets, the social revolutionaries, Menshevik, socialists, syndicalists, and numerous others, while joining to a pure left coalition for the defense of the Constitution. But plenty of work needs to be done from here on out. It can safely be said that the hardest step has been passed. The left coalition has shown itself to be unwilling to bypass constitutional term limits, elect their president for a full term. Therefore, only an acting president will be appointed into the election in 1937. Other candidates have been proposed already, delegating by parties left and right. It's time to choose. It is a time of chaos and uncertainty, however, so even factions which used to be weak are our allies. So we want to make sure that one of you is in charge. I think it's just any of you. Except for the bottom guy. You're the one that leads to a civil war, I'm pretty sure. So you are the Cadetti. Cadetti, I think, are the... Yeah, you're the market liberals. Yeah, let's try you. We've got a new president. I'm going to quickly save here, just so I don't make the same mistake. Even though I should have saved before I did the event. Either way, it doesn't really matter so much. So this is probably going to end up being an episode that has a very, very strange length. Primarily due to the fact that I needed to restart. But Pavel Milyukov addresses the nation. The country remains in chaos with the assassination of President Kerensky. Though Moscow and Petrograd may finally be secure, the countryside continues receiving conflicting messages and reports. Generals of the army are considering mutinies, or even marching onto the capital in order to restore order. To restore the government's control over the apparatus of the state, acting president Pavel Milyukov took to the radio waves. In a 20-minute-long speech, the acting president explained the situation to the full extent of the Duma's knowledge, that the assailant of an unknown motive has shot the president and left the country with the head of state. Coalition of democratically inclined parties in the State Duma have banded together to maintain stability and elect an acting president until the election of 1937. In the meantime, however, Pavel Milyukov promises to maintain the civil rights and liberties of Republican citizens and prevent the decay of order. We could get rubber, but we'll get that from Siam. Looking pretty good. So again, this episode might be shorter or longer than normal, again, because I messed up. I did settle my units, more or less at the same location, though, so that should be okay. Okay, you guys prepare the invasion of Riga. We'll have you guys prepare the invasion of Minsk, because we will be going to war the Reichspakt basically no matter what. You guys will push your way up to the Dnieper. You might as well push your way over to their capital. And you're going to push your way here, and then you guys are just going to, push your way to Vladivostok. Because you're currently led by Kolchak. We'll see what Transmeter wants to end up doing in the future. Okay, payment to the president of reparations. I already read this in a video statement that I don't think you'll be able to see. But I'm not reading it a second time. Basically, Germany wants us to give them a lot of money, and it's very, very sad for our government. We have 35 days left on you. Again, you really don't think we can do other than getting army modernization. Which I'm surprised not that. I mean, it's just army experience, right? I mean, war of numbers. I mean, we are... Okay, so Lorraine's been elected in France. But we are Russia. So we could do war of numbers. The workers' strike. Some workers in one of our cities organized themselves and began to strike, completely distributing all industrial production in the city. They demand higher salaries and enforcement of labor regulations, preventing unfair treatment of workers. We can either ignore their demand, send in the army, or fulfill their demands. Again, I'm going to do a quick save after every single decision, just because I know that Russia can be a little bit of a mess. We will just ignore their demands for right now. We don't negotiate with workers, okay? We're market liberal. You think I'm going to listen to your nonsense? Absolutely not. Okay, we can't really train any more units right now. Maximum supportive divisions. It would be nice to get this up a little bit more. Okay, negotiate with the strikers. An attempt to negotiate with the striking workers have been made. All political forces in the country closely watched the meeting, and so we're hoping that the strike will become an impulse for further reforms in Russia. Minimum reforms. We're going to try to reach a decent proposal. Because I want the stability. I'd rather have... Oh, we actually get 0.04 political power per day, huh? Actually, kind of incredible. Okay, end of an era. So you are going to be done in about 18 more days. Again, it's 70-day focuses, which are absolutely wild. And I don't remember when political stabilization actually happens. Black money has hit Russia, so we only have one option here. Ivan Pavlov has died. He died Nobel Prize of Medicine 1904. Okay, 1% stability. I will absolutely take it. So what do we have? We are given reinstitute the Zemstva, which we will able to do. Subject to another country, non-socialist authoritarian government. So we could just use 5% stability, a little bit more political power gain, resource extraction, stability. I mean, probably want to get you going ASAP because I want to make sure that our economy isn't completely garbage, even though it's still pretty bad. We have an election in June of next year. And we will reinstitute the Zemstva. So let's see, what's going on in the rest of the world? Because again, we have seen that, yeah, both of you have gone totalist. Italy has so far, I don't know if Italy's actually had their election quite yet in March. I think they're more of like a summer election, if I'm remembering correctly. We'll probably do one more guns. Again, anything happening over here. Mexico's gone totalist. Doesn't really change too much for us. Again, we actually want a strong international. We want a strong international because it's going to lead to a weaker Reichspakt, right? So we want to make sure the Reichspakt is big and... Not big. We want to make sure they're small and they're also stinky. We don't want to have a good Reichspakt. Because right now they're looking pretty good. I mean, what would be the best situation? Best situation... I know one of Belarus's paths is pro-Russian. I don't know which one it is, though. And I believe... we want to make sure... You gotta be social conservative. Which I believe is dissolving Rada? Like, and I've only played Ukraine once. It was a while ago when we played the Socialists, so I don't quite remember their other two paths 100%. Because I know one is pro-Russia, one of them is pro-Germany. But I think they can also be, like, pro-independence as well. Okay, General Strike. The frickin' Socialists, man. The heckin' Socialists are kind of, creating some issues in the country for sure. 70-day focuses. I mean, I know the Russian rework is coming out. Well, I mean, I guess I actually had no idea when it's supposed to be coming out. I know it's in the works. Or at least it's claimed to be in the works right now. And hopefully it'll be done sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed. We will get ourselves a spy. I mean, we could send our spy to transmitter, but it makes no sense. We might as well send them... probably to Ukraine would make sense for now. Government intervention. Excellent. Is that considered to stabilize the country? No, it is not. Yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm just trying to remember, like, what are the actual conditions for government stabilization? Like, what do you need? Is it... It might be based on stability. But I'm also just kind of pulling it out of my ass. I have no idea. Okay, negotiate with the strikers. Did we not already have this event? I don't want to take a 10% stability loss, so I guess we'll just take a 15% stability gain. I mean, our political power is garbage, but we've also got to make sure that we don't get couped. Okay, the workers have returned to the factory. The general strike is over, thank goodness. Very happy to see that. But again, hopefully, do not coup my government. Do not... I mean, even like coup the government, I think you have the option to choose if they fail. But I can't guarantee that 100%. Which one of you are the... You're Don Kubin. Probably actually want to assign you to this army. This would be like... No, you still stay here. And, you know, just make you into a new theater. I don't usually use different theaters too often, but I think Russia makes sense. So you are the Asian theater. And then you are the European theater. Excellent. So we have 10 more days on you. You got our We have a second spy? Holy hell. Let's send you to Minsk. Again, just spy on our neighbors. It's okay. I'm sure they're not going to worry about it too much. They're not going to complain. I don't believe it's Social Democratic White Ruthenia. I think they have to be... Maybe it's National Populist, or is National Populist White Ruthenia very anti-Russian? Again, I don't think I could actually tell you. So we can fund Resource Prospect. I mean, go for bettering the economic depression we're currently facing. We do have 2 more slots. We'll go for Boom, and we'll go for 37. Happy with both those choices right there. And I do think that it's going to be a good time for us to end this episode. Again, I'm sorry if this is either a little bit too short. But thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, thumbs up. Not enjoying, thumbs down. You want to see more, subscribe, and goodbye.